Welcome to the Bedlam podcast, a place of uproar and confusion. We are here yet again with me, Thomas Harrison. I full name myself this week, and the bodybuilder himself, Callum Scott.
Hi, hi. No steroids here. Thank you.
Oh yeah, oh yeah,
You all
um,
right?
yeah, not too bad. Thanks, babes. How are you?
No worries. You had a good week.
To be fair, no.
Christ.
If I'm being honest with you, 100% no. No, actually, not 100%. Probably
Why
80,
not?
80% no.
Why not?
Uh, I don't know. I just think for the first time since my little sort of mental health outburst, and I'm going to start taking antidepressants because I can. Um, that's not actually the reason why I'm on antidepressants. I don't know. I've just had a really shit week, and I've just felt like I've been very like mind fuck and head up my ass and making like the small little mistakes that you don't normally make on day-to-day basis. I've been making consistently. So
Mm.
I'm more or less having to get everyone to double check my work. And I'm being very not efficient. What is the opposite of efficient?
Whoa.
Not efficient. I don't know.
I'm the same.
Um
I have been the same this week. I think it's because I I think I don't know if I addressed this on the last one. But I'm changing jobs. Well, keeping the job, going up in the job next week. And so the last sort of week that I've known about it and up to now, I've sort of felt like everyone's judging me on a different standard.
what because you are so much better than them.
It's not even that. It's like, oh, you've got this. Even one of the people I work with said it was like, oh, you've got this job now. When I did something and they were like, oh, come on, you're supposed to be doing this. You've got this job now. I was like, I've got it, but I've not started it yet.
Yeah.
My job
I'm still
hasn't
at the same
changed.
level as you. Yeah.
Yeah, my job hasn't changed yet. Why are you expecting more from me immediately? And that, it's a bit shit.
It's really funny, isn't it, how people treat people differently due to what their job role is or what they're moving into, sort of thing.
Mm, yeah,
Really, really
definitely.
strange.
I
It's
didn't
like
see it coming.
I don't necessarily feel like I felt it because I went from a receptionist to like reception supervisor slash manager when we're in, sort of thing. Um and didn't sort of feel like that, not the change, but like people treat you differently because I feel like I already had that respect in the hotel anyway.
Yeah,
So just to like moving up a little bit, just to sort of like um get the more responsibilities and stuff like that, it just helps a little bit more, and then you've got more like pulling power a little bit as well as um so you can sort of make things happen, and if someone's got an issue then they can come talk to you rather than me going talk to my manager. I can go, yep, no problem, I'll sort that for you.
one of them things that I'm not the sort of person that likes change. Like I like where I'm working, and once I
Yeah,
get to know people, I like to stay with them. But now I'm looking at a sort of transition where I'm going to have to go somewhere for 4 weeks and then I'm going to go somewhere else.
yeah,
So it's a whole lot of change, and I can't control it, and that's when I start to freak out.
yeah.
As soon as I'm
it's
not in control of it, that's oof.
it's just bizarre in it because it's like different people deal with change differently and things like that. And it's like it is a topic that we will get onto later on, but with next week with university starting and people moving and changing things and stuff like that, and trying to come to grasp with it. And we're sort of moving into the seasonal sort of job roles and stuff. So if you've never had a job before or you need some interview tips, we have them coming up. But it's just like everyone deals with change differently, and change really affects people. Like I'm one of those people as well that it really like sort of plays on you, and sort of with the mental health sort of side to it as well, as in addition, um it's the anxiety over it as well as like
Mm.
going into the unknown. It's like I'm one of those people that likes to stay in control of things.
Yeah,
And if I'm not in control, I sort of lose it a little bit.
yeah, definitely.
Um,
I'm the same.
yeah, so it's just like with important things that I'm just basically throwing myself into, I'm really shit with. But if I've done it before and know what I'm sort of to expect, then I'm sort of okay with it a little bit.
Yeah. Can you hear that, by the way? I've just put a fan on.
No, I can't hear anything.
Fab,
I
that's
can
fine.
just hear your beautiful tones coming out of
It's not.
your gob.
That's good. It's not coming through on the record. Then that's fine. That's perfect. But yeah, let's say a lot of change happening to a lot of people soon.
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
probably a good time to address it.
Yeah, what should we start with first?
What have you got? What have you got for me?
Well, I did a little bit on like interview sort of things and just got a little and wrote up a little bit of sort of stuff.
Okay.
Um, you've obviously been to university, so you know the little hacks and the little sort of tips and stuff like that to give people. The only reason I thought of it is because um I'd seen people putting in a forum the other day. It was just like a forum, just totally unrelated to like university and stuff. And they're just like, if anyone's got any hints or tips, please give me them.
Yeah.
Because I could really deal with them. Like, like things to take and things to expect and look out for and stuff. So, um,
Yeah. There's
it,
loads of stuff because I went into uni exactly the same. Like I didn't know what to take, didn't know what to expect. You
yeah,
don't when you come out of school, especially in England. I'm not sure how it is abroad. You're really not taught how to live outside. Like
yeah,
this year, when I've had to start paying council tax and like stuff like that, I didn't know.
yeah. I think there should be like in like the education sort of build up to it because everyone's got to stay until sixth form now, haven't they? They've got to
Yeah,
do the 2 years of sixth form.
well, you don't have to
Um,
do college. If you go to a school with a sixth form, then I suppose it's really easy. But you don't have to do college. But it's pretty impossible to get work if you don't.
yeah, I think that you have to do what is it like a placement or something like that. What's it
Yeah.
called again?
So
I
they'll
can't
make
remember.
you do. Well, the government really wants people to do higher maths and
Yeah,
higher English now. That's like
right.
one of the government's things that isn't going to happen. There's loads of them. Um, but when I went to college, which thinking about it is in my head, it's like yesterday, and in real life, it's 5 years ago. Ugh. You didn't have to.
Strange.
I don't know. You didn't have to do like anything like that. You could just pick it if you wanted to do a course. You could just pick it, or you could go and do an apprenticeship wherever you wanted. Like so,
Yeah,
if people wanted to do not what I wanted to do, I wanted to do like media and pointless stuff like that, and not hard work, not manual labor, but like people that wanted to go and do engineering stuff. You can go and get an apprenticeship straight out of school and just start doing it.
that's the word I was looking for. Apprenticeship.
That's the one.
Yeah, I think you got to go do an apprenticeship, aren't you? Go to college or sixth form. That's the way, isn't it?
Yeah, because most apprenticeships do like you get the same sort of thing out of going to college, but with apprenticeships you do your work hands on with like the shit that you're doing, so it's handy.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I don't know. Should we start with interviewing techniques?
Yeah, I'm assuming you're probably going to be better on this because I've had one, two, three jobs, and I've only ever had one proper interview.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
I'd say I've had two proper interviews and one sort of like name droppy sort of one and just got the job straight away.
yeah. My first one was like a name drop sort of one, and then the one that is that city one that I went for and didn't get.
Yeah,
But that was horrible, in fairness. So I look forward to
yeah.
reliving that with you.
I think it's a bit different now. I think due to COVID and stuff like that, there's a lot of people that and are wanting to do the bare minimum but get paid a lot of money.
Yeah,
So I think the interview processes are getting like a little bit harder, sort of thing. from like having a look and stuff like that, there's a lot of like you either got your face-to-face interviews, you got your video calls or whatever. Obviously since COVID, you've got your like telephone interviews, and but then like a couple of companies do like the assessment centers and stuff. So like skill-based sort of questionnaires to put you up against the other candidates that have applied for the job. Um,
Yeah.
I have sort of like noticed that there's quite a few places now that are doing like a telephone interview to start off with, to sort of um do a little bit of fact finding on yourself and finding out if you are the right person for the job. And then basically doing screening. And then doing like an assessment center, so skill set for the people that you're sort of going up against, and then you do like a face-to-face interview.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of oh, I've gone really dark. Oh my god.
Callum's gone dark.
Oh, back.
Bravo, it's gone dark.
No, there's a lot of stuff like that now because I think it's really difficult to get like a good way of putting this because obviously I've been to uni and I'm really happy I went and I really enjoyed it and I'm really happy with what I came away with. But it's never been easier to go to university, which means that there's a lot of people with degrees in the same field. So interviewers now, instead of just looking to see if you've got the degree and that immediately boosts you up the position, have to look at your work outside of uni
Yeah,
rather than just looking at what you've done.
life experience.
That they'll phrase it like that, but
Yes,
yeah, it's
so
like
having a look at that life experience.
it's like when I left uni. I did that city job and then I got offered this job in Sainsbury's and I was like, fucking, the money's too good to turn down. It's not what I did at uni. It's not what I want to do forever, but
Yeah,
why not? And I spoke to,
something to tide you over.
yeah, and I spoke to one of my lecturers and they were like, look, our job is to sort of sell this course. As bad as it sounds, our job is to sell this course and our job is to prepare you for work. The problem is people expect your life to be linear and like you will go to school, then you will go to college, then you'll go to university, then you will get the job that you really want, and then you'll be in that forever until you die.
Yeah,
And that isn't how it works. You've got to prepare for at the end of uni, you just have to wait.
I don't think you really sort of can go to university, say, I want to be a law student and I want to get into law and do this, blah, 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 blah. And then sort of like you'll just go off onto another tangent. So this is your law side. And then this is like your, I don't know, working supermarkets, hospitality sort of thing. And you just sort of stay on that sort of Richter scale and just keep going up and up and up through it. And then you sort of forget, oh, I went to university and did law, but I've done nothing that is resulting with law.
Yeah, it's like you don't have to stick in that. It's like the way that I've done it purely because it was an opportunity that was sort of pushed towards me was the freelance stuff that I'm doing now. So yeah, I'm doing Sainsbury's, but when I'm not there, I'm writing politics for all sorts of different people.
Yeah,
I'm like writing articles and stuff. As
you're a very busy person.
well as a freelance, it's easy because effectively you're self-employed,
Yeah,
but you can do it on your time and sort of do whatever you want with it.
yeah.
That's how I enjoy it. That's the sort of journalism that I'm doing at the minute, but that's not what I wanted to do. I came out of uni and I was like, I need a job in somewhere like the BBC and I need it to be salaried, I need it to be full time because otherwise I've failed.
And then I'm going to go fiddle with children.
Right. That will come up again later on because that's one of the things that I've got to talk about. Not fiddling with children, but
within the BBC again. No, really?
You wouldn't believe it. You wouldn't believe it.
So, sort of like one of the first things that you should be doing when preparing for an interview is have a look at the company that you are applying for. Because if you don't look into that company and they go, what do you know about us? And you reply, I don't really know. It's not going to look good, is it?
No, it's not. It's like no one's expecting you to turn up with a fucking portfolio and go, well, for Tesco's, they were in the 10th percentile of all sales across retail in 2029. Fucking hell.
But if someone had that information and came to me, I'd go, "What the fuck? Jesus
Yeah,
Christ, you've done your knowledge."
yeah. That's the thing. You can have too little, but you can never have too much.
Yeah,
Like you can go in wholly unprepared for an interview and bomb it, but if you go
yeah.
in, act like you know it all, you might think that you're coming across a bit of a dick, but they're going to be impressed.
I also think it's one of those things. If you know too much, or you not know too much, but if you've got too much information that just like sat there ready for that question, and it never comes across, you always want to sort of like, pardon the euphemism, but you just want to finger it in. Like saying
Yeah.
you've got this percentage level that's down on a piece of paper that you found, and you're really proud that you found
Oh, you
this
really want to push it.
percentage.
Yeah.
You
You want
want
to
to just go, we've
sort of
not gone down
needle it
this.
in. Yeah,
Get in.
definitely. You want to sort of try because interview in my so the interviews I've had have been like I'll use the city one as an example. It was on Zoom for the first one, then they invited
Yeah.
me to the second one, which was in person, which was when I still don't know, but I don't think I got the job.
Have you not heard back yet?
No, and that is something to come on to as well because very often you won't.
Ah, okay. Yeah. Got you.
You'll
Got
go
you.
for a job, you'll go for an interview, and you'll think, "Yeah, fucking smashed that. That was great. Oh, I've definitely got that
No,
job."
but I think that's down to your point because in interviews and stuff like that, I've always sort of messaged if I've not heard anything to sort of get an answer and then get feedback, which is also
Mm,
something you should do.
yeah, I mean, you definitely should, but you got to remember, it's no reflection on you if they don't answer because I've had it before where I've gone for an interview. This interview, for example, I'm not bad mouthing Manchester City Football Club. They were lovely people to deal with, and
Manchester United is better.
their facilities were top notch. I have to say, but I went for the interview, did the interview. They were all lovely. They were like, "Oh, you'll hear back by the end of the week." Got to the end of the week, didn't hear anything. So messaged them on the Monday, asking for an update. Nothing, nothing back at all. So messaged them on the Friday, saying, "Oh, I assume I've not got the job, but can I have some feedback?" They read it, didn't reply.
Oh, bastards.
So
Bastards.
don't take it as a reflection on you or as a knockback. They're just some people are just like that. They'll do the interviews, they'll get in who they want, and then that'll be it. They'll just gone.
Now I don't want Pep Guardiola to be England manager. What a bastard.
What a bastard! As if he'd take it anywhere. Come on.
Yeah, absolutely. Next thing. I always sort of like expect basic knowledge and understanding of the business. So
Yeah,
don't always do too much, don't do too little, but just find out the basic sort of things, sort of like what sector they operate in and what challenges does it face, who the competitors are, and things like that. And you can sort of have a look into all these other companies. And if you can see something there that like you've come across, and you can see, like, say, the company that you're applying for doesn't do a specific product, but your competitor does, it might look good on you if you could sort of like maybe build up like a graph or a chart or something of a little bit of knowledge just to show that you have done a little bit of research, and you can sort of then push your salesy sort of side or whatever to sort of say, this will look good because this, and then it'll sort of look like that you are already started trying to get into that mindset of that company, and you have done a little bit of like looking into it and research and doing what they do on a day-to-day basis of having a look at the competitors and how they can change the business model and stuff like that.
yeah. It's like one of the best pieces of advice I was given was going up for this promotion at Sainsbury's. It was go into the interview, right, and imagine that you have to sell yourself to these people. You
Yeah.
you have to convince them that they should give you the job. How do you do that? How do you make yourself look like the dog's bollocks, for example?
I I once had a company, right, give me a can of Coca-Cola and say, sell me this. You have 10 minutes to sell me this.
You've
And
got
it
30
has to
seconds. Sell it to me.
me.
You've got 30 seconds starting right now. Sell it to me.
So with this can of Coca-Cola, it tastes absolutely amazing. We've been changing the formula every single year, and we've not lost the taste value of it. And plus, it is zero sugar. So when you look on the side of it, it's all greens. It is healthy for you, and you can drink. No, I maybe can't say it's healthy for you because it's naturally not.
So is it or isn't it healthy?
I wouldn't say it is healthy, but the sugar content says 0 grams and 0%. But brilliant.
And am I right
Not
in
lost
thinking
the
there's
taste.
quite am I right in thinking there's quite high levels of aspartame in those drinks, which can be quite bad for your kidney function?
Yeah, what you said. Yeah. Well done, sir. You've done it. Do you want the job?
I'll take 10 pallets, thank you.
Or could I tease you with some White's lemonade?
Sold,
Yes,
sold.
these are empty cans, by the way.
So I've got a Fanta.
I just
But it also is zero sugar.
I have full fat Coke because full fat Coke tastes fucking awesome.
Did you know that this is made with juice? It's there on the packaging.
If it wasn't made with juice, I would be slightly concerned.
I'll
How
be
did you make it
concerned,
taste
but
like
not
orange?
surprised.
Yeah, I'm really this orange drink that you've just sold me. Yeah, how did you make it again? Oh, well, great question.
Let's move on.
Callum, take it away. Um, so next section of the interview things. Um, if you're going into a big company such as Callum says, like Sainsbury's and Manchester City and things like that, and you have been invited by email, and it does say in the email who your interviewees are going to be, then maybe you could go have a little search, a little snoop around their website, see how easy it is to operate at the same time, and maybe give a little bit of feedback on there when navigating, because feedback about websites is amazing.
Get on LinkedIn.
Um, yeah, or LinkedIn. You can
Get
have a
on,
look. You can
honestly.
see what they're like. Maybe they've got like a little bit of bio that says about themselves, such as maybe like in the past time they play football and things like that. And it really reiterates with you, and then you can sort of make it a little bit more personal experience. It gives you a little bit of a connection with interviewers, and you can create sort of a positive impression during your interview.
It was I keep bringing it round to examples about myself here, which is making me seem really big headed, and I apologize. But I knew
I
the
mean, I
guy.
can't I can't put any impact in this apart from being an interview. Yeah, that's the word I'm looking
Yeah,
for. Because at the moment we've got a job opening and we'll be interviewing these people. So
yeah.
for me, this is a little bit of a newer sort of experience of things that I'd probably look for. So you have the interviewee as Callum and the interviewer as me. Go on,
Yeah,
carry on. Sorry, I cut you off.
it's like the guy that was doing my interview. Um, I don't know when it was. I'm just doing a quick Google of when it was. Um, do it. Excuse me. Do some swift typing here.
But
But
if you can find things on people, then obviously you create that little bit of personality. And in your interviews, you are sort of like looking for that personality, because it's not just the person like understanding the job and the role and stuff like that. You are also looking to see if that person would fit in your team.
exactly.
So if you've got a good personality behind you and stuff like that, similar sort of interests, it's a little bit easier to talk to. And you can also sort of have a look at sort of using that like their knowledge of things that they like, their interests and things, and you can sort of use that in the the sort of training lead up to it as well.
Yeah. So the guy that interviewed me for this job that I'm going into at Sainsbury's is a store manager at the store called Bramall in Manchester, and I knew that his shop was robbed at gunpoint,
Right.
and he was working and he like reassured customers and stuff after it. And I was like, "Oh, how would you impose leadership qualities?" I was like, "Well, I'd follow in your footsteps after what happened with your shop and do this, this, and this." And like that little bit of knowledge that you've looked into it and you've sort of spun it around on yourself and how it can use everything you find
Yeah.
to like just as you said, finger it in.
Even if you don't use any of the information that you have found, that's also very good because you've not had to get into it. And yeah, okay, if you found some information out that you don't use, it's fine. It sits in your knowledge anyway, and you could potentially use that if you do get given the job down the line.
Yeah, exactly.
Um, Common questions that you'll get asked by the interviewer. Sorry, you could ask the interviewer. So like at the end of your interview, you got through it all, through the screening, and then they've turned around to you and says, "Have you got any questions for me?" And 9 times out of 10, I say no.
Nah, no, cheers, mate. See ya.
But typical questions that you could ask are such as what does the typical day look like? Or how could I impress you in the first 3 months of my employment? Or what opportunities are there for training and progression?
That's a really good one. That last one is really good because it shows that you not only want the job just to get the money, you want
Yeah.
to sort of put everything into it and move up within the business. And that's, yeah,
I also think like the basics or the basis that you should be looking at is something along the lines of you're looking to get into the company where there is progression there available for you. And you want to build your knowledge and understanding on that company that what you already know and use the things that you already know to create a warm environment, and that you want to be able to train up and progress up the ladder rather than just sitting in either one job for the rest of your life, rather than moving up and down or sideways and stuff like that, or just leaving after a couple of months because you don't really like it.
yeah, exactly. It's you get the job or not, like you're always in a good position when it comes to if you get asked for an interview after screening, they've looked at you and they're already halfway to thinking, yeah, I want this person to work for me. So then in
Yeah.
your interview, all you've got to do is turn up and cement that first impression.
Yeah.
Do that.
And you're probably going to be asked exactly the same questions. Like if you're in a current role of employment, they'll probably turn around and be like, well, why do you want to leave?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I never really know how to answer that question. I think it's always like you've got to again finger in the training and progression, and I think I've gone as far as I want, or I'm looking for a change sort of thing, rather than be, well, I just don't like it. I mean,
Also,
you
I would
can be open
quickly,
and honest and truthful.
yeah, and I would quickly throw in there as well. Sometimes they might ask you a question in the screening and then ask you the same question in the interview. Don't answer it the same way.
No.
Find something else. Think of something else. So if they ask you what motivates you to work in the screening, you say one answer. If you go for an interview, they say what would motivate you to work here. Change the answer, unless the first answer was really good, in which case, stick to it.
I don't suppose you sort of really remember the questions that they ask you in the screening, though, do you?
No, and to be fair, if that is the case, like you're in a winning position because if you say the same thing as you did in your previous interaction, it just shows that you actually know what you're on about.
And
You weren't just making it up.
you don't really want to sound like a robot.
No, as I work well under pressure.
Meaning you don't really want to be reading straight from the piece of paper that you have written down the words on. You want it to come natural. And
Shaky piece of paper.
like when you do presentations and stuff like that, you don't just want to read directly from the presentation. That's why you've got your side notes. So you read from your side notes and not from what's on the screen,
Yeah,
if that
definitely,
makes
definitely.
any sense. Yeah.
But what's good
Um,
for like Zoom interviews, what I did was where your camera is, mine, I'm using this one, but mine's there. Put a little post-it note next to your camera with any
yeah.
points that you think are important, because then you're not looking down, down, up. You are looking straight at them. Gives them the impression that you're looking at them. You've not, and you know what you're on about, even though it's written down.
It's kind of what we do here, or what I do here. I've got a two-screen setup, and the camera is in the middle of the screens. So you're sort of on this side, and my notes are on this side, and they are sort of on eye level. So I do sort of look like I am looking around and things like that, but I am reading at the same time.
Like mine, I use just one screen. I've got another one here, but I just keep it turned off because I get distracted. So I keep what I'm on about on this side, you here, and the camera up here.
Yeah. Yeah. And then the last thing that I sort of found out is it's a bit difficult of what to figure out what to wear because
Definitely.
it's depending on your job role and title and the company that you're going into and stuff like that. Sometimes it is really good to be suited and booted, but sometimes it's not great to go in suited and booted because you don't want to look too eager. Is that what the words I'm looking for?
Yeah, I'd say so. I always go with sort of for interviews, unless you're expected to wear a suit for the role,
Yes.
always go sort of smart cash.
Yes.
Like my go-to combo is shirt jeans.
Yeah.
Don't know why I did that quite so camp. Is that shirt jeans, nice tie?
If you're not too sure sort of what to wear, the smarter the
Why'd you
casual.
fat? Ha! I've just put my hand in the fan.
I did sort of hear that. All I heard was, I'm like, whoa.
Yeah, continue. It's
So
fine.
I sort of thought that you'd electrocuted yourself.
It's fine. I'm fine. Sorry for spinning it out of
Um,
controller.
did it help with the pain though, shouting and swearing?
Yeah,
Yeah, all right,
did.
cool.
Like
Good for you. I'm proud of you.
when you hit your whatever just before the record.
Oh yes, yeah. I
Yeah, yeah,
forgot.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah. Welcome back.
Um, yeah. So if you're unsure, the smarter the casual is better because it is obviously hard to judge what it is best to wear with companies asking for just casual wear. So if you're not sure what that is, the smarter the casual is better. And obviously,
Definitely,
it'll give you good first impressions as well.
definitely, definitely.
So make sure that you do go turned up, like not clean shaven, but presentable. You smell lovely and you look amazing as well.
And you, by God, you'll get that job.
It depends what you sort of say in your interview, I guess.
Yeah, I suppose. Yeah, we can only hold your hand so far. We can only take you to the door and push you inside. Once you're
Yeah,
inside, that's it. That's on you.
absolutely. Right. Well, we are coming to the end of the first part.
Bloody
So,
hell! Has that been 40 minutes?
well, that's what I thought last week when we were talking about politics for 40 minutes.
You know what? Good, good.
And we both sort of high fived each other as well. I want to bring it up, right? There was a person that dropped a comment on last week's video
Okay.
from a certain someone called Lewis Anderton.
Oh yeah. Oh my God.
Um, thank you for the compliment of Tom seems cool. Have you seen this comment? No.
No, 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 no.
Oh, okay, right. So it says, "My days, Callum. Look at you go. I'll never forget exchanging Frankie Boyle jokes on the bus. And now you're a top-notch political commentator with a legendary beard. I can't fucking speak. It says, keep crushing it, you rock star. I'm rooting for you. And then put, Tom seems cool also.
Hey, there's something in there for both of us.
Thank you.
Cheers, Lewis. Oh, mate, I went to college with Lewis. He's a freaking legend.
Yeah, as I say, right? We do see the comments. We do see Callum doesn't. I do. We all see the comments.
I'm too busy being a political commentator with my wonderful beard.
Yeah. So we do see the comments. We do talk. We do text each other a lot. And there is sort of something in the pipeline that is coming up down in a couple of weeks' time. So watch this space because we may have another video on this YouTube channel that's not a podcast.
My lips are sealed.
What? I can't remember if I mentioned it on a previous podcast, but we'll just leave you there. And
no, we talked around it. We didn't address it. We just spoke around it.
Yeah, and I also can't remember because I remembered that we'd stopped the recording and we still had time remaining, like 30 seconds, and I was there going, Callum, quick.
That's lost. That's lost to the Zoom gods. That's gone. It's dead.
But yes, we do have some things planned.
It's in the pipeline.
Callum is coming back to Yorkshire for a weekend. So this video Zoom call that you're watching, we may have one together. And also,
I will say, just before you do, for the viewers, it will still be in video form. Don't come up to us. Don't approach us. You know, just...
if you want to be in it and you want to come and say something to us, or you want to give us some questions to ask each other or something like that, or you want to know something about us personally,
that's fine. Do that. That's fine. But I'm not going through the whole crazy stalker phase again. I can't do it. I wasted, frankly, too much of Greater Manchester Police's resources and time.
Yeah, no. I hate it when people come up to me at football and go, when's the next podcast out? And I'm like, oh shit, I've got
Does that actually happen?
Now. Yeah.
Does it?
It happened. It did happen, yeah.
Go on, Sam. Does it?
And I have people messaging me going, when's the next podcast out? Literally, as we clicked record, I had a message from someone saying, what you been up to? Is there another podcast this week? I think I'm on week 5. I might have missed some. And I went, yeah, we're just about to start filming now. And they replied, good. I think I missed it. I'm like, no, you haven't. We're filming it now.
We've not done it yet.
Right, everyone, go grab yourself a tea, coffee, and press pause. Like that, push that like button. Subscribe if you haven't already.
They don't have to press pause. It'll all be together in the video.
No, they have to press pause if they want to go get yourself a fucking coffee, twat bag. Otherwise, it's going to start talking about that. Dickhead. Anyway.
Sorry.
We'll see you for part 2. Well, hopefully you have a lovely cup of tea, a couple of biscuits to go with you. During the break, I went and grabbed a beer.
I'm still drinking the same Fanta.
It's always been too early in the day where we've been recording, and I've always had to go do things after us recording. So I've never been able to enjoy a beer during the podcast.
That's because we're early podders, right? We podcast early, and today, for whatever reason, we're podcasting late. It's dark outside. That's not outside. That's outside. Ugh.
If my current employer recognizes this bottle of pop, then it's not stolen. It is being gifted to me because it is currently out of date. So I'm not stealing it. I'm also just currently waiting for the other 11 bottles to go out of date so I can enjoy those as well.
That's a good tactic. I like that.
Yeah.
And I like that.
Plus, I'll treat it as a birthday gift from work because they go out of date the day after my birthday.
Lovely. Lovely. Well, I'm currently gearing up for the big 22.
You're still a young pup.
Oh, mate, I don't feel it. I make noises when I stand up and sit down now.
Yeah, I make noises as well. I go, oh,
Yeah, that's exactly the noise.
I've been making those noises since I was about 19.
I've just never noticed. I don't think. I, I just don't
Yeah.
think I've noticed. Right. So I believe the steering the topic of conversation on from the first part to another whole lot of change that's happening um, in the next couple of weeks. Started maybe this week, I'd say. Students are either coming back to or going to university for the first time. Yeah, I mean, been there, done that, got the fucking t-shirt, mate. So you
You
know,
finished now, aren't you?
I've done. Yeah, I graduated. I'm out. I'm in the big wide world, and I'm gonna be honest. I'm not a fan. Initial
Yeah.
reviews are not good.
It's a dangerous world out there, Callum.
Initial reviews of the big wide world are not good.
Don't do it.
Well, no, do it because it gives you an extra 3 years of not being in the big wide world. But be ready for
I mean,
afterwards because I wasn't.
don't do the big wide world.
I don't know if that's possible. I don't think you can avoid it. It's so big and so bad that it's just everywhere.
Just do uni. And then if they go, do you want to continue? Say yes.
Yes, absolutely do that. Absolutely do that.
Yeah.
Absolutely. But did you do uni? Did you?
No, I did about 3 months of college and dropped out and just went straight into work.
Nice, nice, nice. So I imagine um quite a lot of this is going to be pitched at me. So I'll sit myself back ready for a fucking peppering shower.
I have no idea. So I can be that person that's going to university for the first time, right? So I've heard that people stay in the accommodation at the university for the first year, get to know people, and then for like the second, third, fourth, how many ever years you're going to be there, you get a house, and then I mean, I think you might have needed to talk for it to kick over to you.
Yeah, yeah, sorry. You get a house.
Um, with a couple of people that you know that are maybe on similar courses to you, or drinking buddies, or whatever like that.
It was
Um,
the second one for me.
and then you just literally just stay there and enjoy home life
Yeah,
away from family.
it's the first time you can really get a proper sense of being independent because you really are away from your parents. You really do have to control your own money, and there isn't. You don't realize it at the time because everyone throws money at students when they first start out. It's great. You're balling around buying everything, and then
But
there's no safety net. There isn't.
just out of curiosity, so between that first year and that second year, before we get on to the new people joining university,
Mhm.
how much different is it from living in student accommodation to having your own place?
A lot different because in student accommodation, my student accommodation especially, was just one large prolonged drinking session because you didn't have to do anything. You paid your rent out of your student loan. That you didn't have to worry about bills or anything. You didn't have to worry about pretty much anything. You're in the middle of the city centre. Everything's around you. And we were built. So I'll explain my accommodation. Right, was like a square, and
Yeah, I know what one of those looks like.
well done. Good, good to know that you're on form with your shapes.
Thanks.
So your flat would be a flat of 10 people down one corridor, a kitchen at the end, and two bathrooms at the other end. Sort of shaped a bit like a limp dick.
Right.
Yeah. So you've got to think there's 10 people in a flat. If you have a flat party, loads of people are going to turn up because there's three flats on every floor, there's three floors on every block, and there's 4 blocks.
Right.
There's a lot of people. Um,
Yeah,
so
I'd
the
guess so.
change to moving into your own houses, you've got to deal with a whole new set of things. You've got to deal with the landlord, which you didn't before. You've got to deal with your bills unless you do what I did and get your tenancy to include bills, in which case you just pay more to the landlord and he deals with it.
The landlord that you deal with, is he just like a specific sort of student sort of landlord, or is he just like a landlord? Like if I wanted to buy to rent your house, I would just deal with that landlord, or would I not be able to get that because it's like classed as student accommodation?
No, because this is a student house, so student houses have to be classified as, they're called HMOs, houses of multiple occupation.
Right.
So like one room is, you can charge rent for one room, then another, then the other, and then the communal areas like the living room, the bathroom, the kitchen, just in with that. But my landlord's just a student landlord, but we got really lucky because he's only got two other houses and he's actually sound.
That's all right then.
Yeah, because I've heard the horror stories of like some landlords that have like 20 plus properties and you'll ask them to do something and it'll take them fucking ages to do it. Whereas if I message my landlord and say, we've got a leak in the bathroom or something, he'll be around the next day and sorting it out.
Perfect. That's
So
what you
like
need.
it's really, really good. I can't, Lee, if you are watching, which I don't think you will be, but thank you.
Should we talk about the sofa incident?
Oh god, do we have to? I don't really want
Well,
to. And we
I've
can do.
yeah. Well, when you broke the sofa and you said that it was coming around and you had to prop it up with books.
Right. In fairness, he was sound about that as well. He was
Oh, did you know about
so,
that?
so good. Yeah, he was so good with that. He was like, we explained what happened. It was like, I literally, we went to sit on it and one of the legs just broke. We tried to fix it ourselves. It didn't work. So we've had to put it on books. And he was like, in fairness to you, I've had these sofas for ages. So I don't mind. I will pay for it because it'll be here when you leave.
Yeah.
So I'm just paying for it. So he sorted that out like with no problems. And I really thought we'd have to pay for a new sofa, and I was terrified.
Oh, brilliant. Right. So I'm going to university on Friday. What do I need to take? What are the specifics that me personally, apart from condoms, do I need to take?
Bedding. Don't
Bedding.
forget to take bedding because it's not. A lot of people assume when you move into a student accommodation that they'll give it you. They don't. So
Right.
don't forget it because I know people that did. And they were like rushing around on the day of moving in. It's like, I need to get a duvet and some pillows. Oh, fuck.
Why do they not give you pillows?
No, no, no.
Okay.
It's which is probably best because you wouldn't want someone else's pillows, would you?
No, but I mean, I would have sort of thought it's similar to like a hotel sort of thing, like because you're there for so long, like living there for a whole year, and maybe longer, that they'd sort of new pillows every person that moves in. Okay,
No,
so I'm taking. So do I need a duvet, or is the duvet there? Just need a sheet for it.
no. You need what? No,
Do
you
I?
need right. Okay, you get a mattress.
Is that it?
Yeah,
Right. Okay. So I need to buy a bed in for a single bed,
yeah,
buy a single duvet, and buy pillows, or
yeah,
take my pillows from home. Okay,
uh-huh,
got you.
yeah.
What else do I
So
need?
you will right at this point. It's probably good to coordinate because before you move in, you will. If you do what I did, which a lot of people did, find a group on Facebook, right? And a lot of the time, it'll be your halls of residence for that year, and everyone that's in it will
Right.
join it, and they'll put what flat they're in, and then you can find people that are in your flat, and you
Right.
can coordinate what each other are going to get because you don't want to turn up on the day and everybody's bought a set of cutlery and everybody's bought a load of cups and mugs and shit because then you've got about 10 sets of like 10, 20 plus sets of cutlery. You've got 80 forks, 80 spoons, and 80 knives, and you just don't need it.
What? So you don't get all that supplied either?
No, no, no. Literally, you move in as if you're moving into an unfurnished house.
Ah, okay.
So
So
in my
like
room,
communal areas, you've got like sofa and stuff like that, TV,
yeah,
or
yeah,
do you have
yeah.
to? All right, okay.
So in communal areas, in mine, right, I'm using. I'll probably put a picture in. I think I've got one, or I'll find one online. My halls were the halls provided by the union. They were the cheapest ones you can get,
Right.
right? And they were shit, but we sort of made them what they were. We had good fun. Like I really enjoyed it. But you got a cooker, two fridges in the kitchen, a table with chairs.
Carry on.
A table with chairs. Like I think there was a draining board, and that's it for the
Okay.
kitchen. And
Right.
then in your room, you got bed with a mattress, a built-in bookcase, and a desk with drawers.
Okay. Right.
And that's it. So you've got to sort of build up from there.
Right. Okay then. So now we know what we need to take. Or do we need to take anything else? I think we've said it, haven't we? Because we've literally told you you're literally moving with the bare minimums.
Yeah, yeah. Take everything that
I
you think
mean,
you'll need, but don't take. It's best to coordinate with people that you're moving in with to see what they're taking, because I think at some point we ended up with 5 sets of pans. It was like, this is
that's not
great.
necessarily a bad thing.
No one has to do any washing up for at least a month, but like,
Yeah, and if you're really shit at cooking and you burn something to the pan, you can just launch it in the bin.
if you've ever tried to make super noodles in a frying pan, you know the pain.
Oh
Yeah,
God.
dark,
Okay.
some seriously dark days, honestly.
So that's sort of like a little bit of a hack. Speak to your people that you're gonna be, or try and reach out to the people that are gonna be living with you,
Yeah.
and then coordinate. Any other sort of hack for moving in?
On the day you move in, right, people will be terrified. I was, because you're being thrust into a flat with 10 people that you don't, or 9 people that you don't know from all over the country, and you just got to live with them for a year. Right? That's terrifying for anyone. So the best way to do it is on the first night, do what we did, and because not everyone will move in on the same day, so you'll get like drips and drips and drips.
Yeah.
So what we did was the people that moved in on the same day, we helped each other move in, which helps you
Right.
sort of get to know them a little bit.
Yeah.
Bring some beers or something, so you just can go, do you want a beer? Start a
Yeah.
conversation, something like that, and then, oh, do you need a hand moving in? And then what we did on the night when everyone was like moved in, that had moved in that day, was go around our floor, knocked on the knocked on doors, and just like, do you fancy coming over for a drink? Where we're gonna have a little drink at ours if you want, get to know people. So just make an effort to get to know people, and you'll be fine.
Perfect. What's next in the university sort of life? What is the next step after you've moved in?
After you've moved in, it's sort of sorting your actual uni stuff out, because you're not just there for a piss up, you are actually there for uni. But I'm not saying this to be a bad influence, but it's important to remember that your first year at university doesn't count towards anything. It doesn't, as long as you pass it, as long as you get 40% to move up to the second year, it doesn't matter. You could get the top of the class, and all you're doing is moving into next year, same as someone who got 51%.
So, kids, the Irish pisshead is saying, get drunk.
Do make friends, because first year's, it's nothing.
Yeah,
It's a
make
good
friends, get drunk,
introduction.
enjoy yourself.
Yeah.
Don't get anyone pregnant.
No, don't do that. No, that really does put a downer on university life, I have to say. Not from personal
Yeah,
experience.
you just ruin the other person's life then while you're carrying on getting your A stars.
Yeah, exactly. Figure out your shit, right? Figure out your shit. You'll go and you'll collect your student pass and fucking milk that, right? Milk that for everything that it's worth, everything that it gets you, all the student discounts, right? All the free entry into nightclubs. Take it everywhere. Put it in your wallet. Put it in your purse. Don't leave the house without it, because you could be in a shop and go, "Do you take student discount?" Yeah. Oh, I didn't know that. Have you got your student pass? Yeah, there you go. And it knocks like 15 quid off, whatever. Like,
Oh, perfect.
it's mint. It's really, really good. But I'm coming at it from a different perspective, because I moved into uni, and within 2 weeks, the country was back in lockdown.
Oh yeah,
So I think the reason I'm such good friends with the people that I live with now is because we literally couldn't talk to anyone else.
yeah.
We couldn't go out together. We had to stay in together and talk to each other. And so
I
there
remember
was
I
no,
superimposed your face on a hamster outside your halls because I think your halls get COVID.
yeah. So Manchester, don't do this, kids. Right? Don't do what we did because it was bad. The university, the halls got COVID. Right?
So this was Manchester University.
Yeah.
So this was one of the big universities that was one of the
This
first
was
places to get COVID.
it was all over the news at the time. Um, I
And
remember
I had
waking up.
insider knowledge because Callum was there.
Yeah, I remember waking up one morning, and you got to think I'm doing a journalism course, right? I woke up one morning. I went into the kitchen. I was really hungover. I went to like put the kettle on to make a brew, sort of banging on the window of the kitchen. The kitchen was 2 floors up. So it was like either someone's climbed up a drain pipe or something. What the fuck's going on? Went to the window, and a journalist was knocking on the window with like a boom microphone and knocking on the window. Can we have an interview? Can we have an interview about being locked in? I was like, give me a minute, give me a minute. I just please. So there is an interview somewhere. I think it was on LBC on the radio about being locked in halls. But yeah, we were told that there was an outbreak of COVID in the halls by the uni. We got it by email.
Yep.
And at the bottom of the email, it said, "Oh, we'll be closing the halls until further notice." So people were like, "We live here. What do you mean closing the halls?" And what they meant was, from 5 minutes of sending that email, they'd locked the gate to get out. So we were essentially in prison. So what do people do? You've got COVID. You're in the halls. You can get food delivered. They
Yeah,
gave, in fairness to the uni, they gave each of us, I think it was £100 Asda voucher to spend
that's not
on.
too bad.
It was really good. It all got spent on booze. I
Yeah,
don't think anyone bought any actual food. Um, so what do? You get your booze ordered for next day delivery, get it dropped off, and then people just started having COVID parties. They're like, we've got COVID, we're all going to get it, so why don't you just come
yeah,
round? Started doing that, and then the uni refused to um, give us any money back because obviously the lectures were cancelled, but we were still
yeah,
paying full tuition fees. I was
yeah.
like, well, what exactly are we paying for? So we and don't do this. Don't if you move it right, don't do this unless you're forced into the position, which I feel like we were. But I cancelled the direct debit for my rent. So I've not heard anything back off the uni for many years now. So I think they've just waived it. But I think when I left, I owed Manchester University about £3,000 in rent.
Can I have that for all the work that I did for you during lockdown?
It got spent on other means.
Ah, fuck.
Sorry, mate. Sorry. Really
No,
apologise.
I remember um you were locked in. You didn't have a right lot to do. I think that's when we became really, really like close friends, like
Yeah.
talking more or less every single day. Because we were playing Football Manager like non-stop. Because I work in hospitality, so we were closed. Callum couldn't go anywhere. What do? You just game online with your friends. Um,
Didn't we do
I think
like
we became,
12 hours of FM one day?
I think yeah, and then we. This is when me and you started sort of first started talking about making a YouTube channel,
Yeah.
and we were gonna what were it? We were gonna do like 24 hour of gaming for, and then raise money for a charity, weren't we?
Yes, we were going to do a stream, weren't we?
um, and just play Football Manager non-stop, because that's all we are doing anyway. And I am very good at modding Football Manager. And like I was taking photos of my Football Manager, and Callum was like, "What the fuck are you playing?" And I'm like, "I'm playing Football Manager," and he goes, "Well, that doesn't look like what I'm playing." And I was basically went on to TeamViewer and transferred everything over onto Callum's, installed all the shit that I had on mine, and Callum was like, "Wow, this is amazing." Um, and then we started, we created his own league. So it was
Good.
the English, Irish, Northern Irish and Irish,
That was
um,
such a good save.
Scotland and Wales.
Oh
And
man, we
I
should do that again.
was, who are I now?
Were you
Begin with an L.
Linfield?
Linfield, that's it. I was
And I
Linfield,
was
you were Dublin.
I was like this new team that they'd made up for that save. I put my hand in the fan again. Oh,
You was Dublin.
I was
And
Dublin, but it's a team that they'd made up for this save.
while we were sort of loading the save up, I was making some fantasy football kits. And I was showing the intern the other day of what I did to your football kit. You remember the inside of it? And
Yeah.
I wrote in it, Tom is better than me. And obviously Callum didn't know this because it is a, on my screen, it's massive, and you've got to properly zoom in to see it. And it was just a little text that Callum couldn't see it. And one day I just said, just zoom into your collar. And he realized, and he just gave me all the profanities underneath the sun.
Because at the time, I think we'd played each other twice, and you'd won one and I'd won one.
Yeah. And he'd had these kits all season.
Yeah. So I wasn't best pleased, but it was a good time because, like I say, we didn't have anything else to do. So on one hand, you could. I remember. Oh my god! I remember one night we did this thing, right. So there's 10 rooms to a flat, all down one corridor.
Right.
We can't go out to the pub. So what do? Right, we'll have a pub crawl at the flat.
Nice.
So everybody put ideas into a hat, shuffle them up, and pull out an idea, and then you've got 2 days to create that in your room. So we had like a tiki bar, had like an Icelandic, like Viking themed bar. Mine was like a traditional pub.
Right.
What else was it? Like an American style bar. And then we had like 2 days, so we bought a load of like paper and like felt tips and stuff and started making stuff for these. Put them all together, and honestly, I don't think I've ever put as much effort into anything in my life. But you had to provide everybody with 2 drinks in fitting with the theme for each room.
Right. Yeah.
And by the end room was a rave. And I fell asleep inside somebody's bookcase, stood up. The bookcase was like built off the floor and it had like just squares like that. So the one that was at head height just sort of fell into it like that and
just fell asleep.
I
Just for
fell
the sake
asleep
of it.
in the hallway so many times. I refused to
Yeah.
get. There was once on St. Patrick's Day, because obviously it was March, so things were slightly opening up, so we were allowed to go to the shop, but nothing else was open.
Right.
So we spent all day drinking, all day, and I must have fallen on the stairs up to the flat and just fallen asleep there because that's where I woke up.
Yeah.
Didn't wake up in my flat, didn't wake up in the bed. I just woke up on a stairwell with just people walking past me. I was like, oh, he's had a good night.
Morning, Colin. um, so is there anything at the top of your head that you can sort of think of that you really need to sort of give that information out because it caught you off guard, or have you sort of touched all base with
I
that?
think that comes more in the move between halls and moving into a house, because we were lucky moving into our house because it's a decent house. The landlord is good. There were things wrong with it, which I think if the landlord had been worse, would have become much bigger problems.
Yeah.
So you've really got to like watch when you go and view a house, you normally go and view it with the landlord. So when you're looking around the house, just sort of have a bit of a conversation, suss out if they really know what they're on about, or they're just trying to sell you a shithole.
Yeah.
But like, be ready for things that are outside of what you've lived so far. So
Yeah.
I would assume that the normal path, like me, is like you go to high school and college, you live with your mum or dad or grandmother or whoever, whatever. They deal with the bills. Right? You don't really ever see any of that. When you move into your own house, that is yours. That's your responsibility now. You have to know
Yeah.
about TV license, about council tax, about fucking noise complaints, which brings me neatly to this. We had pushed through the door today, just so you can see. It's a letter from the police and the council, which naturally I shit myself when it came through the door.
Right.
So I'll read it to you now. Dear resident, I am writing to you on behalf of Manchester City Council and Greater Manchester Police. We have one of the strongest student communities in the UK, with around 80,000 students living in Manchester, and the majority of them are great neighbours and make a positive contribution to the local community. There is often an assumption that your area is home exclusively to students. In fact, 66% of the properties in your neighbourhood belong to long-term residents who work full-time, are raising children, or could be looking after elderly relatives. Sadly, your street and those nearby have continued to suffer from the effects of house parties and other associated noise. Following an evaluation of the noise complaints in South Manchester, we will continue to maintain a focus on your immediate area in an effort to put an end to such disturbances. This year, we will be visiting all addresses in your area that are let to students and where considerable disturbance was caused to neighbours in the previous academic year. If you are suffering noise nuisance from the neighbours and you want help, you should report the matter through the Manchester City Council. So essentially, it's not a letter for me, because one, yeah, grown up
Is that
now.
you pleading your innocence now or later?
No, because in fairness, the area that we live on, again, really lucky. We've got a family that side and a family that side. We're not the sort of
Right.
people that want to have house parties.
Okay.
We always said it at the flat as well. We would never have a house party in our flat. We would go to other people's flats to have parties, because I've seen what they do at these parties.
Yeah.
There was a spate when we were living in the halls. There was a spate of, some would call it vandalism, I would call it hilarious lols, where people would go to your house party and for fun would steal the knobs off your oven. Yeah,
That's amazing.
yeah. But we were like, right, in our flat, we don't want any of that. Right, none of
Yeah.
that. Fuck that. We've seen it happen to other people. We don't want it to happen here. Same as this house. It's like, I know what people do at house parties. I want my house to be my house. I don't
Yeah.
want
Yeah.
anyone else to come in. So we've never had, we've had like people round to have drinks and stuff, but never anything too radical. Um, but yeah, that's all. I don't know. We'll see what happens with that. But that's all I'd say. Just get prepared for after holes, because holes is fun and it's supposed to be fun, and have fun. And
Yeah.
then in your second year and in your third year, focus on uni and focus on the real life boring shit that you've got to do, because it'll go so quick.
So, you know that I mentioned in part one where, or this part, I can't remember which part it is. It's been so long. Um, this might be the longest podcast that we've done so far. So, you've done your law degree and you've gone down the road of not doing anything with that law degree at all. But just for instance, you've done, I don't know, a little bit of like IT sort of side to it and things like that. And you decide to go down a different route with it. And you thought, you know, I've got a really big idea here. Let's hack people and use your computer expertise. You know where I'm going with this, don't you?
I think so.
Use your computer expertise to have a little bit of fun and try and get a couple $1 million out of it. Well, over the weekend, Caesar's Palace or Caesar's Entertainment and MGM have been hacked. by a group. Now, I have information to say that it was Alpha or Black Cat that have done it, but I pulled up an article just as we're switching over from part one to part two.
Yeah.
That since then, a hacking group known as Scattered Spider have come out and said that they're behind the MGM cyber attack. Now, what's happened is Alpha or Black Cat have gained access to an MGM employee via LinkedIn.
Wow.
They called the internal help desk, acting as the employee and pretending to have difficulty with the system. And then through that less than 10-minute conversation on the phone, they've managed to gain enough information to gain backdoor access to the MGM servers.
Jesus.
During doing this, they have compromised the employee's user and the administration account. It allowed them to remove the antivirus software and set up malicious objects, enabling them to deploy malware. It was detected on Sunday night, which is the 10th of September. And then Black Cat requested MGM to pay an unknown amount of ransom, but the MGM have refused. So the MGM have been in this since Sunday night. It's now Thursday, so they're into the fourth day of it.
Yeah.
Caesars Entertainment did get hacked, but they haven't been effective as much as what of MGM have, because they were sent a ransom basically of $30 million. Caesar's Palace did pay some of this, which was 15 million. So Caesar's Entertainment did cooperate with it, and it allowed them to go uninterrupted. Obviously, they make millions and millions of dollars a day. But because MGM didn't go through with it and say, no, you're not having no money, they shut down the systems and they did go to manual operations, basically, which shut down everything of MGM.
Yeah.
So, as you know, if you've seen photos and stuff like that, everything in the casinos of MGM, Grand, and things like that, and all their companies that they work with, everything is computerized. So at the moment, there's literally just loads of screens that says, I'm having trouble communicating with the system. When the link is restored, your session will resume. But apparently there is also some issues with the hotel booking systems as well as like company employees, and also some customers that use them frequently have also been hacked and their information has been obtained. So this began sort of like Sunday night, early hours of Monday morning. September the 11th at 8:27 a.m., which is around a similar time of when the Twin Towers got hit 22 years ago. I think the first one was hit just before 9 a.m. So
no, I'm not going there. I'm not going there.
About half an hour sort of time. I think it was slightly just before 9 a.m. and then after 9 a.m. when it happened. So MGM issued a statement basically saying that the 19 MGM establishments are affected. But it says, we apologize for any inconvenience. For restaurant options and reservations, please download the MGM Rewards app. To make a reservation for a resident artist, production show, or attraction, please visit Ticketmaster.com. To purchase live tickets for UFC, Las Vegas Aces, Vegas Golden Knights, or a concert event at the arena, please visit axs.com. For hotel reservations arriving between the 13th and 17th of September 2023. We understand your travel plans may have changed, so we're waiving changes and cancellation fees. Thank you for your loyalty to MGM Resorts, and we look forward to welcoming you soon. It is estimated that MGM are losing $13 million a day due to this hack.
That they put a dent in your finances.
So it has been since spoke about that the share price has declined of MGM Resorts by more than 6%, and the incident is being investigated by the FBI. The company they're about a $14 billion company. They operate hotels and gaming venues around the world, notably mostly in Las Vegas. Um, Absolutely astonishing, amazing, fantastic. Cannot believe it.
There's been a sort of spate of these cyber attacks even over here. You saw like
Yeah.
the way that they're doing it is they're targeting well, they're two separate things. They're targeting two separate things, but they're targeting the police by going after the way they make their warrant cards, the companies that make the cards, because they process all the information of the officers. It happened to the Met a couple of weeks ago, and today it's happened to Greater Manchester Police.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so
I
they've got
didn't
all the
realize it happened.
information.
I didn't realize it happened to the Met or Manchester. I just really know about the is it Northern Ireland one?
Yeah, that's a different one. That's like
Because that
people
caused a
doing
bit
it
of
for
like rioting and stuff.
malicious. Yeah,
Yeah.
people are doing that for malicious reasons against the police. That is actually strange. How they found out who got the material was like, we don't know who got the material, um, but if you did, I'd urge you to make yourself known to the police. So what they did, instead of just telling the police, was to go to the building across the street of the police station, like the main police office, the headquarters, and just put up posters with high ranking officers' information on.
Ah, oh God, Jesus.
But yeah, they're targeting schools as well now.
Yes,
People are
I
sending
was
like threatening messages to schools and things.
I was just about to come on to that. I'd seen a message yesterday saying something along the line. Oh, was it yesterday or was it Tuesday? Tuesday.
Yes, there was one yesterday in again Greater Manchester. They've shut
Yeah.
some schools.
Said something along the line. They'd sent a message out to the parents saying that the school gates were closed, parents can't gain access, or no children can exit. You can't come pick your children up because we are in a state of lockdown.
Mm.
Because we have been threatened. This, that, blah, blah, blah. It just turns out it was a little bit of a hoax, but it's quite scary. Like really, really scary.
Live in a scary world.
Yeah, absolutely. Right. Well, we are going to finish this segment. This is the first time in the podcast history of the 7 episodes that we've previously done that we've got through two 40-minute sections.
Ah,
This is crazy.
wow.
But yeah, I do have some fun coming up because we always end with a little bit of fun. So stay around for that. But if you need a piss, you need a shit, or you just need to go for a little bit of a sly fag break, go for it now because we are about to render this section out.
Yes.
Welcome back to what we believe is the final part of episode 7 of title to be confirmed by Callum when he can figure out what he wants to call it this week.
Or something like long special or something.
Yeah, long special. Oh, look, it's Tom. Didn't realize I was hung like a horse.
Oh Jesus.
Now, have you ever ventured down to the beach and you've seen a big, massive crater in the sand and thought, what the fuck caused that?
Um, we'll say yes because I don't doubt there's been a point where I've thought that.
Well, due to the recent heat waves that's happened over in Ireland, scientists are investigating a meteor that has come down out of space and hit into the beach, causing a big, massive crater in the sand. Well, that's what they think's happened. What actually has happened is that a couple of guys that were at the beach one weekend decided that they wanted to just dig a big, massive fuck off hole. And that's what they did.
It's thrown
Causing
people off, hasn't it?
absolute outrage on Virgin Media News in Ireland. They've even got, I just seen, they've even got like a meteor scientist or whatever that's found this rock and he's there going, oh, there's charge from this side and it looks like that this is the side that it's come through, but you can see it straight away and it's just like, fuck. No It's
Yeah,
quite
I
big
mean,
though,
I
isn't
saw
it?
the guy that had found it is still getting it tested, just in case.
But there's also a video going around of the guys actually digging it with a little plastic spade.
Little like bucket and spade, yeah.
Oh God! It says that the rock was strategically placed in the dugout hole, tricking some residents to believe that they'd witnessed something incredible. The guy that was doing it said the scorch marks on the side that may have been the angle it came back down. We're definitely going to have to find out his composition. Told the Virgin Media reporter. Someone said, I live on a beach in Canada. I don't have meteors landing on my beach. So thank you, Ireland, for a wonderful experience. Never seen anything like this before, someone said. When I saw how uniform it is, it really looks like an impact site. Uh, However, images have since emerged on social media of young men appearing to dig the hole involved. The group are seen in shorts and hats on a sunny day with kids' spades, indicating that the whole incident was a bit of a misunderstanding.
You can see it now, can't you? It's like, here, lads, come here to me, lads, right? We dig this fucking massive hole, right? We dig this hole here now, just for a laugh, right? And then just as we leave, like you'll go and find like a big stone or something like a rock, right? And we'll put it in the hole that we dug there, right on the beach. We'll put the stone in the hole, right? And lads will walk past and they'll be like, "Ah, oh, Christ, it's come from space, lads." Right, and it'll be fucking wild, and it'll be all over the news, and be fucking famous, lads. It'd be grand.
Someone posted on Twitter saying, obviously, offering the local astronomy fan the cold comfort of, I went around the library in UCD for an hour with the whole back of my skirt stuffed in my knickers, if that makes him feel any better. Someone
Nice,
else said, that's why you should pay a TV license. Oh,
excellent, excellent.
someone said we used to dig holes deeper than this. Great crack trying to get out of them. Oh God, I literally I was just scrolling through Twitter. This is the majority of where my content comes from, either Sky News or Twitter. If I'm really scraping the bottom of the barrel, I've typed into Google funny news
Funny
stories
news.
or unique news stories or something.
Yeah.
But I was just scrolling through last night and I seen these two articles about MGM and the news creator, and messaged Callum and went, podcast tomorrow night.
Well, speaking of scraping the bottom of the barrel, I've only got one segment today, and I'm sure it'll bring great joy to many people around the world.
I'm waiting.
Um, there has recently been an auction at the very famous auction house Sotheby's, where they deal in art and very expensive things in general. They don't normally auction off a jumper,
A jumper,
just a jumper. Nothing
not one of
particularly
those.
special about this jumper, apart from whose body it's been on.
So, not the type of jumper that the police call when they say, we've got a jumper, we've got a jumper.
No, it's a very different type of jumper, and that normally doesn't end in an auction. So I'll put a fiver down on
Well,
that
it
piece of
could be
leg.
because you've just said it depends what type of body's been in it. So, it could be anything.
True. Well,
And you
this
did say you are
particular,
scraping the bottom of the barrel.
I am very much, but not that sort of scraping.
So, someone, yeah.
Um, so this is a red jumper with white sheep all over it, and with one little black sheep in the middle. Right? Doesn't sound all that remarkable. I'm going to tell you first who, not who, but how much.
All right. Oh no, tell me how much. Do you know how much it was supposed? What the value was at auction, and I can try and guess how much it actually went for.
Okay. Bidding opened on the 31st of August, and the top bid stayed under 200 grand until the final minutes.
Yeah. Right. Tell me a little bit more about this jumper. Who
Okay.
wore it?
No, not yet.
Oh, okay.
Not yet.
Right.
The
I'm,
simple
I'm
piece of knitwear, which was unearthed in an attic in March. um, this person was first photographed wearing it a month before their wedding.
Oh, I wondered where my jumper had gone. I've been trying to find that for months.
There we go. And the jumper in question, with the one black sheep, is seen to be a bit of a message as to how this person felt in their life at the time.
Right, so it's got to be something to do with either Prince or Michael Jackson.
No.
Oh,
Close with the first one.
Prince. So someone that thinks that they're the black sheep of the family. Right. I'm gonna say that this. Okay, so it didn't go over £200,000 or dollars.
Until the final minutes of the auction.
Pounds or dollars.
Dollars.
Oh, I'm gonna say $700,000.
Keep going.
A million?
Keep going.
2 million?
Go down. It's not
One
much
point
over a million.
$1.2 million.
Yeah.
Wow.
And the jumper in question belonged to the late great Princess Diana.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
That's insane.
It sold an auction, and fashion historians believe Diana was sending a message, as she may have done in later years with her famous revenge dress, um, suggesting that she felt like the black sheep in the royal family.
Interesting. That's
Mm.
crazy. That is absolute crazy.
We don't know who bought it, but we do know that the necklace that Diana frequently wore was also sold at this auction. That went for $203,000, and that was sold to reality star Kim Kardashian
Wait, so a jumper went for more money than what a necklace did?
because it was quite a famous jumper because of everything that it came to represent.
That is nuts.
Mm.
So crazy. I wish I could sell my jumper for $1.2 million.
Especially one that they'd found in an attic,
Yeah.
just been
I
lying
wonder
around.
every now and then my mum does message me going, do you still want this TV? Do you still want this PlayStation?
You're
Do
gonna
you
get rid
still
of your
want the train
shit.
set? Yeah. Oh God, crazy. Right,
Yeah,
anyway, I think it's time that we end this because people are probably getting bored.
we were probably asleep.
Yeah, if people are still here, hello, welcome. I'm Tom and this is Callum.
Oh,
You
yeah.
know this because you've
We're not
started from the
starting
start.
again. We're not starting again.
Um, However you found this, whether it's through Facebook, Instagram, Twitter,
Twitter
I say that like that. Like I don't post to Twitter. Um, Callum does.
sometime.
Instagram or Instagram Reels or anything like that. Hello, welcome. This is the Bedlam podcast. We've been here for 8 weeks now because we missed a week, didn't we?
We did.
Yeah. So I've been doing this for just over a
No, no,
month,
we
2 months.
didn't miss it. We didn't miss a week on YouTube. They just.
No. We did. We missed a week because we didn't film 1 week, did we?
Oh shit! Yeah.
Yeah. We didn't. We haven't officially missed a week on YouTube, but due to Martin from Aircast and Spotify, hello, welcome. Yeah. So however you found us, if it's through Facebook, do click that follow or like button, share it with all your friends. Head over to Instagram. It is Facebook is Bedlam with Tom and Callum, or Cal. If you've not seen or followed the Instagram page, I do try and make some amazing Instagram reels on there.
Your
So
reels are
please
very good. Your reels are very good.
like them, share them with your friends, put them in your stories, and give them a
What I
follow.
like
Because
about them is that sometimes the text goes over my face.
yeah, it's Bedlam YT if you've not been over to Instagram, or if you've found us on YouTube or followed any of the links from any of these social medias, please hit that subscribe button or the follow button on Spotify. We do try and upload every single week. There may be some weeks where we do miss, but as we mentioned halfway through, if you have made it this far, we'll give you a sneak preview. Basically, Callum is coming home for his birthday week, and we're going on a little adventure.
I'm going on an adventure.
Something that we spoke about before on the podcast that Callum has never been to before. And we're probably going to film a little bit of a vlog. But at the same time, we are also going to film potentially a podcast. It may be short, it may be long, who knows? We don't know where we're going to film this podcast yet. It may literally just be on a bench table outside of McDonald's or something like that. Wherever that we can get filming permission.
Nowhere, so it's going to be in your car.
Yeah, and there is going to be a vlog as well, so something else for you to enjoy. Yeah, it's going to be good. I've got some plans. I mean, to be fair, I did send Callum a message earlier on, and he said something along the lines of, where was it?
I don't know what you're on about.
Oh yeah, that were it. He replied back with, "That should be sweet."
Dude.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right.
So yeah,
well,
if you're still listening,
I'm going to make a curry.
All right. I was just going to say, if you are still listening, that is a little bit of a sneak preview. So keep that between me and you. Right. Anyway, we will catch you all next week, potentially towards the end of the week, maybe the start of the week after, because there's no point in filming anything midweek if you're going to film it next weekend.
True that. True that.
Yeah. So anyway, thank you ever so much for listening. As I say, please follow, like, subscribe, and we will see you on the flip side.
Who have you stolen that from?
I don't know. I could do Life of Tom and go, Sa di os.
Oh, good God. Goodbye.